suggest we start perhaps with Nadia Mani on this side, and then we could go just like this, no? Yes? And you can, yes, use your intuitive power. And please forgive me, I'm just now coming.
So this has two questions. The first one is, how do you stay focused on Krishna during kirtan, even though you are leading the kirtan? I mean, sometimes, honestly, I'm not. Leading a kirtan, it can look very easy, and it is. Sometimes all the right ingredients come together and you're just solidly immersed in the kirtan, and kirtan becomes easy. But other than that, it's actually it can be challenging sometimes. There's different sound things going on. I can't hear the mridanga, I can't hear this. You're trying to orchestrate this many people to chant as well and facilitate a beautiful experience. So for me personally, I try to have the meditation beforehand. I think I shared this last year as well. Being a mother, my mind is sometimes scattered with, what's my child doing? But I just always pray to be engaged in service and to engage others in service before the kirtan starts. And there's little helpful things we do, like we are surrounded by pictures of Krishna. On the harmonium, there's 2 pictures of Gaur Nitai, which me and Amal travel with, so that when things are a little chaotic, it's a little focus right in front of us. But I think thinking about your service can also be seen as thinking about Krishna as well. So maybe I'm not directly meditating on this beautiful image we just saw with the golden clothes and the peacock feather in his hair. That's maybe not my meditation, but my meditation is, how can we make this kirtan beautiful for Krishna, for his devotees to join in with? So since they're non-different from each other, the name and Krishna, then by serving the holy name, we're also serving Krishna and meditating on him. And we're beautifying him with the melodies. Almost. I'll pass on this next one to you. Double question. We'll move on. One question.
One question. So alternating.
Can you tell we're out of our comfort zone?
Okay, this question is, why do I cry when in kirtan, or sometimes chanting, or sometimes standing in front of the deities? Well, that's very good. I don't know why, because I haven't cried yet. Mahaprabhu in Shikshastakam, he says, when will the day come when I cry, singing your names? So if you're already there, that's very good. It's said by different acharyas that we should cry for Krishna, and if you can't cry for Krishna, then cry because you can't cry. So if you're crying already, just great. I would like to know your secret. Hare Krishna.
Haribol! That was great.
good one. What's this say?
If we can ask the doctors in the rooms to write clearly next time.
It's actually beautiful handwriting. It's just cursive.
Okay, this is actually 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, about 6 questions. Okay, I'll try my best. How do you stay Krishna?
Rapid fire.
Yeah, don't think about it too much. How do you stay Krishna conscious at home? Okay, I'll just answer one at a time. A great place to start is transcendental sound vibration. So music is obviously like probably the most common popular form of entertainment. So it's great for the mind if we find music in a devotional form. That's what's kept me connected to Krishna consciousness throughout my whole life. My parents would play kirtans on the cassette in the bathroom while we're getting ready in the morning, or lectures, etc. So always surrounding yourself with sound vibration that reminds you of Krishna is a really easy way. Daily practice, driving in the car, like whatever it is, you can be putting on a kirtan or a lecture. So that's one easy way. How and when do you chant? This is something that I would love to work on more, having a set time in the day that is just devoted to chanting japa. But right now, I personally just chant throughout the day. I chant when I'm driving as well. So don't use my answer, but do you watch movies? Yes.
See, rapid fire. You're doing great.
And sports. I like sports. I like soccer. That's the question. Yeah, I watch movies. I watch movies. Do you read Holy Scriptures every day? I don't right now every day open a book and read something, but every day I'm reading something from the Scriptures, whether it's a quote from a teacher, a quote from a devotee, or describing a pastime. I try to stay connected to the Scriptures every day, but again, another habit I would like to form is daily reading. Any other things in your daily, weekly routine? What keeps me staying connected definitely is having at least a weekly time that I come and I do kirtan. People may see us as just doing kirtan on a so-called stage, even though this isn't a platform. This is still the stage. There's microphones, there's cameras, there's speakers, there's an audience. But what initially attracted all of us to doing kirtan had nothing to do with being seen, actually. We just sat down with our friends purely for the love of coming together and chanting and doing kirtan. And so staying grounded in that practice of coming before the deities in my local temple every week, and I know all of us do this, all of us that are doing kirtan, we keep it a practice that we're just in front of the deities with no audience, just singing for their pleasure. Although here the goal is the same, without us facing the deity form, being able to see them, etc., it might be a little bit harder, and the mind is always something that you have to wrestle with, just being in front of people, being seen. So the format we generally do kirtan at home is just in a little semicircle, and no one's kind of like, there's no audience. The audience is Krishna or Srila Prabhupada if the curtains are closed. So anyways, that's a weekly practice that really grounds me, keeps me connected, is just doing, I call it grassroots organic kirtan. So, yeah. Oh, yeah. That's it.
For Sacinandana Swami. Haribo.
Really?
Yeah. He's empowering you. Why do we say that kirtan is intended to glorify Krishna and not the demigods? Why do we say that kirtan is intended to glorify Krishna and not the demigods? Why do we say that kirtan is intended to glorify Krishna and not the demigods?
Why Krishna Kirtan and not
Ah,
Indra Kirtan?
from what the acharyas have told us, Krishna is the root of everything. So when we glorify Krishna, just like when we water the root of a tree, all the branches are automatically satisfied. So we don't have to worship the demigods, because through worshiping Krishna, everyone is already pleased. So let's just keep on worshiping Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Tarot card pulling.
Oh, oh. Oh.
Double.
Oh. No, wait, this is another. Oh.
Digesting first.
During this morning's japa session, a thought about work popped into my mind. I asked my mind to put it aside and rationalized that it could be dealt with later. I kept asking my mind to focus on japa, to be present with the holy name. Unfortunately, the thought kept persisting. I saw two choices. One, to continue with japa, trying my best, to be present. I wanted to prove to Krishna that I could pick him. Two, to step away, quickly deal with the item, and come back to japa without the distracting thought. What was the right choice? You didn't tell me which one you chose. Also, why is it that the more I tried to resist the thought, the more it actually persisted? So here, don't think of a blue cow. What are you thinking of? A blue cow. Interestingly enough, the mind does not quite understand the negative. And so when immediately, don't think of a blue cow, your mind has already scrubbed out the don't, and all we are focused on is the subject, blue cow. And so one neat thing that I've been trying to do is, instead of telling my mind don't do something, simply give it a positive action. It will do what you tell it to do. And so if your mind continues to come back to this problem that you're having at work, I mean, actually, you have more than two options. You have kind of infinite options. One option is to use that opportunity to tell Krishna about your work issue. Because if Krishna is our nearest and dearest friend, and you had a nearest and dearest friend, say I had a friend in Yogi and Ananda, just hypothetically, and they had an issue that they were dealing with, and they didn't tell me, And they tried to figure it out themselves. They went through a whole bunch of things. They consulted other people and never told me. I would actually never speak to them again.
Almost happened once.
That's true, actually.
Twice.
It's true, actually. We've been through a lot. But if we never tell Krishna our problems, actually, in reality, then are we really friends? Krishna tells Arjuna in Bhagavad Gita, depend on me in everything. And by this devotional service, and I remember reading that line and then I stopped and I realized, wow, so many times we think, should we go to Krishna with everything? He's not our order supplier. We do understand that. We don't want to bother him. He has so many other things to do. Do we go to him with everything? And then we start to feel bad. Why should we run to Krishna with everything? He's busy. He's God. You know, he's running planetary systems and keeping clouds afloat, doing all kinds of things, you know? And they're very, very important things. But do I depend on him with everything? Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, depend on me in all aspects. And by this devotional service, what a radical idea. That depending on Krishna for everything is devotional service. So, one option is you can use that opportunity during your japa to have a conversation with Krishna. This is when it gets real. Everybody kind of wonders, how do I get my mind to focus? But if you're having a conversation with Krishna during your japa, it really takes a lot of mental focus. Because now you're kind of almost asking the mind to do 2 things at once. 3 things at once. Several things at once. You're touching your beads. You're chanting actively with your mouth. You're hearing the holy name and having an internal dialogue. Your mind is going to find it impossible to be too troublesome because now you're doing so many things at once. And so I say use the opportunity, tell Krishna. Or then you give your mind something positive to focus on. Instead of thinking, don't think about work, don't think about work, don't think about work. Okay, well, what do you want your mind to focus on? So you bring it back again. Krishna has a peacock feather that's almost likened to a rainbow above the sun of all of his features. And he has a yellow dhoti which looks like lightning on a monsoon cloud body. Look, are you thinking about work anymore? No? Right. So instead of giving the mind the negative, because the mind really doesn't understand that. This also goes for any of you who are project leaders at work. Don't give your people as a supervisor, if you give them negative things, don't do this, I don't like this, they have nowhere to go with that. Give them a positive. I would like to see more of. And so you can use that with your japa at all times. What would you like to see more of? Hope that answered the question. You think it's small. Most of the country, city does not have devotees of similar interests.
That's a good question. Okay, the question reads, how would you recommend to grow in the kirtan and chanting of the holy name if the environment in which I live most of the time, country, city, does not have devotees with similar interests and desires? Actually, you know, during our travels, a lot of people ask us similar questions in the sense where we all understand the importance of association, which is the most important aspect of spiritual life. As Maharaj was mentioning, you know, sadhu sangha, so important. So for those people that might find that they are missing that devotee sangha in their community or city, Krishna's mercy, right now there's this whole online world where we have cameras, the internet. So a lot of the times, myself, my brother, we always try to seek out Sangha through online lectures, through YouTube videos, through kirtans. Everything is available, online. So there's definitely something practical that I would recommend. Other than that, reading Srila Prabhupada's books. You can associate with Srila Prabhupada himself. His ecstasies are his commentaries, and you can get lost in those pages for hours and hours. You can associate with the literatures of the Goswamis. Like today we were reading Rupa Goswami's verse, and you get a little peek into his mind, into his mood of devotion. So there's so many opportunities to associate through books, through lectures. And there's even online sanghas, if I'm not wrong now. People, I don't know if they still do Zoom sanghas. Yeah. But yeah, like Maharaj was doing many retreats, Zoom retreats online. So where there's a will, there's a way. So, will. And you'll find a way. I hope that helps. But yeah, Sangha, Sangha, Sangha. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
I think this is brilliant. So let us make another round. Yes? Yeah. What?
Yeah, could you do one?
I do so much. They want to. What? No, yes, let's hear from you. It's nice, no? Yeah, I also feel, and the retreat is so demanding. We have to be on time. We have to eat on time. Oh my God, and so on. And I think having such kind of sangha with the kirtan leaders is a very, 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 very useful. I also liked the answers. You give such authentic answers. That is what we need in this time. Authentic answers, because we all share the same planet and the same and similar situations. So how to deal with them? Really, this is. Please, you talk. I'm most happy when I hear you talk, and don't worry, I will talk many things. So you can also say how you wish to do it. Who should talk and how to. I think this surprise thing is very nice, that we don't go like 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, I'm already asleep. But our Amala, you have a sparkle in your eye. You can you can decide who should speak and so on. No, he's good. No,
Yeah, he's great.
Yeah.
The sparkle is for prasadam.
Pizza.
So we'll do that one where I pull and I'll decide?
Here we go. Wow. What do you see when you close your eyes in kirtan? Yogi.
So many things. Because the mind is like a monkey, right? It's jumping from one branch to the next to the next. So many things. So which time are you talking about? Maybe you tell me and I'll tell you.
Good point, because it said when you close your eyes, what do you see?
I think it matters, like Maharaj said, which environment you're in. Sometimes when you're with a particular group of chanters, then you might get deeper experiences in chanting Hare Krishna. And what really matters is what have you been doing the rest of the day? What have you been doing the rest of the week, the rest of the month? What have you been doing the whole year? And if you've hopefully been keeping mental hygiene, like Maharaj was saying, by reading, by associating, by doing lots of kirtan, then when you chant Hare Krishna and you close your eyes, then you will see what you've been associating with. So hopefully if you're seeing Didi Darshan of Radhe Shyam, you'll see Radhe Shyam. And if you're reading about pastimes, like Sacinandana Maharaj was telling us a pastime of how Rupa Goswami was witnessing in his bhajan, in his private practice, some beautiful leelas. So that they will come as well. And hopefully, we hope for that. And so I think it's really important that throughout the rest of the year, all the years together, your time, which is the most valuable commodity that you have, what are you doing with that time? And if you're hopefully spending it reading and hearing and dressing the deities and doing so many wonderful things in devotional life, then that's what you will see. I remember once Amal was giving an interview, and in the interview someone asked him a similar question where they said, like, what are you supposed to think about when you chant? And Amal said it so beautifully that you don't have to, because we're so fallen, at least I'm so fallen, we can't approach Krishna directly. So we approach him through the devotees. So sometimes we think about our spiritual masters or those Vaishnavas that have brought us to Krishna. And that helps. It really helps when you think about your guru, when you think about Aindraya Prabhu. So yeah, let's keep chanting. And throughout the year, let's keep associating, let's keep hearing. Jai Prabhupada.
Okay, I have a wonderful one for Achyuta Gopi. I want to make Nam Seva and Kirtan my life and soul. I have a desire for Nam Seva to be my primary main seva. How do I do so? Where do I start? And what does this look like?
Yeah, if you have a desire to make Nam Seva your life and soul, don't, no.
Get ready.
It's like the Goswamis, if you have any material attachments, don't go to the banks of the Jamuna. Don't go near Keshigat. Do not look into the face of Govindadev. You'll lose everything. Ayendra Prabhu did not accept people who said they wanted to do something. If you want to do something, simply do it. Yeah, if you want to do something, there's no want. Just do the thing. And so what does that look like? You're in your room, you're in your home, you're in a car, you're on the street. Do Nam Seva. Sing. Sing to the four walls, sing to anyone who will listen. Just go ahead and sing. And that's, I dare say, where we all started. Yeah. Bedrooms, bathrooms, showers. And at the very beginning, no one wanted to hear any of us. Except for Nadia. I think everybody always wanted to hear Nadia. But the rest of us mortals have to work at it. It's a lot of work. So don't think that it's just going to come automatically and nobody ever has to try, no one has to do anything. But if you really want to make Nam Seva your life, then I urge you, there's a whole full day of kirtan coming up tomorrow. Sing like there is no tomorrow after tomorrow. And there are so many times I go to Vrindavan and my sister says a really cool thing. She's like, I don't know what anybody's talking about. I lead kirtans all the time. I'm like, what are you saying? Because she leads kirtans never of the time. And she said, no, every response, I'm leading my own kirtan. Yeah, she's like, I'm giving 108% every time I respond. She said, and for that moment, for those times, I'm leading that kirtan. And so in the evening kirtans and all tomorrow, every response, you all are leading. This is not a one-way idea. It's not a one-way street, you know. Now it's transparent. So where do you begin? Now, actually. And if my brother were here, and you're lucky he's not, he would make you sing all the way through lunch if you ask him a question like that. So it's very easy. Where do you begin? How do you begin? Just give it your all. If you want to make Nam Seva your life, there's actually nothing standing in your way except for your mind telling you that you somehow can't. But you can sing wherever you are.
Thank you. I have a wonderful question for Nadia. Seeing as she used to live in London. Any advice for becoming more calm and sattvic while living in the busy city chaos, working a lot? You are all so kind and loving. How can I develop these qualities myself?
Well, London is a very chaotic place. I used to work a lot. My former boss is sitting over there. Yeah, I think chaos is kind of a state of mind. Like, there can be chaos going on around you, but if you yourself have clarity in what you're trying to do, the chaos doesn't have to necessarily affect you. I know it can. I get a little overwhelmed in cities now that we've been living in the deep, deep country of Florida
Deep South.
for so long.
How do you stay calm and sedated? You move to Alachua.
Yeah, you have to move. But yeah, I remember, this is related. We brought Amal's family who live in the countryside. They've never lived in the city. And we brought them to London and they were just like, oh my God, every person they walked past was almost toppling them over. They were getting lost nonstop. And they were just like, this is so busy, it's so busy. And I was like, well, I know where I'm going. And I was just head down walking. Nobody was bumping into me, never missed a train, just because I had my goal for where I was going. And that's what I do when I come to New York, which is also overwhelming for me. I'm just like, okay, we're going to the Bhakti Center. That's what we're doing. And I'm just like, I know where I have to go, head down, keep walking. And so if you have that mentality yourself, like, I don't want to be chaotic. I don't want to be surrounded by chaos. What are the little things that will help you stay calm? Maybe it's headphones while you're walking to work with a nice kirtan going on. Maybe your house is very, very sattvic. Maybe when you get to work, you take a few minutes and you do some deep breathing, you chant around, you do something that is going to keep you sane in the chaos, because it is very easy to get wrapped up in it. But I think if you have somewhere that you want to be, your goal is to be calm and sattvic, you be the calm and sattvic, and you take it out with you, and then hopefully the effect of it will be less on you.
How do you stay so calm? How do you stay loving?
I'm calm and loving.
When I come in your association, Maharaj, and chant with my amazing devotee friends, I feel healed. But at home, I get sick again. How can I best protect myself from the material world? We don't have weekly kirtan at home in my town.
Well, I want to avoid this microphone. What?
Microphone keeps
Comes, see, what I have realized in my life, I was traveling, I was exposed to many things, we did programs in a discotheque 5 stories under the ground, which was, I can't describe this to you. People were not appropriately dressed. And we had to, I have been in conferences with professors and so on. And I have found out that you can create your own environment and bring your own environment around with you. It can be with you like you have a backpack that is with you, or a Brahman's ring that is with you, or a ring which you carry. In the same way, you have to carry your own environment. You have to first make it and then bring it. You make your environment during those times when you are with Krishna, and you have this time alone with him, because in that time you realize also who you are. You have a talk with the Lord, and then what comes out is indicative of who you are. So you create your own environment when you decide, okay, I'm sitting in this kirtan now, let me close my eyes, let me now address Krishna. Then you in the address to Krishna, you realize who the one is who speaks, that is who you are. And once you have created an atmosphere, you bring it with you, and people begin to be inspired by you. You don't even have to say something. I remember when Prabhupada would sit in the airports waiting for his next flight, and people saw him, he was not in the airport really. And in Stockholm, I saw people stumbling and falling because the atmosphere was just so pregnant, so present, so and so on. And that you have to all learn. If you always change, you are a chameleon. When chameleon goes in another atmosphere, Rocky Mountains, he looks like a Rocky Mountains on his skin. When he goes to the ocean, he looks blue like the ocean. And when he travels too much and changes too much, he dies from the effort. So you need to know your own environment, and you bring it everywhere. Don't try discotheques in the 5 stories under the ground where people are not appropriately dressed and the music is so loud you can't talk. Do more simple things. Try visiting your relatives, and well, that's also sometimes difficult. Meeting people, when you do shopping, carry your own environment around, and it might help you to use these two people whom you can put in your ears. They're called earphones, and they can give you good sound. The point is, choose your environment, establish your environment, and bring it with you. That is my little answer. Hare Krishna.
We have a wonderful last question for Achyuta Gopi.
Some say that Prabhupada didn't approve of paid kirtan, in parentheses, kirtan concerts, that it doesn't honor Krishna. What is your view on that? Well, as a person who's about to embark on a 10-city kirtan concert tour,
If you all could just remove the screen from that window and I'll fling myself out. Take a running start. Wah!
My counter kind of question is, did you all have to pay a registration fee for here? But you all have the holy name at home. Like, isn't it Isn't it free at home? I mean, you all have prasadam. You all have the same Srimad Bhagavatam. You even all have the web stream. It's like live on YouTube.
Right now.
Right now, for mostly free. Unless you have a premium subscription. So then, but what is the difference? Right? We come together and there's a magic that happens. Not only do we come together and there's a magic that happens, it is facilitated by all of these lights. And the room.
Microphone.
And the microphone. And it would be great if we could tell airlines that, look, I'm going for Nam Seva. I don't have to pay for this flight. Let me get on the flight. I'll sing for you. It will be barter. And then we can call it even. You fly the plane, I sing for the plane, and then everything is good. But I don't think that anybody would allow any of us to do that. And so we come together and we have registration fees, not necessarily for the knowledge, because you could be at home watching YouTube for the same thing. But it needs maintenance. We can't tell the electric companies, look, we're doing some really important singing here. I'm gonna need you to allow us to do our seva. So it's not that you're necessarily paying for the kirtan of the holy name. We do countless kirtans all the time. If you let us sit in somebody's living room, we'll start singing before dinner anyway. And then we'll keep singing until one of us gets too hungry to sing anymore. So this is what we do, and that's actually the one that we find the most enjoyable. It's just being in somebody's kitchen, doing kirtan for hours, working out tunes, coming up with new tunes, sharing with one another. That is how we bond together. But for the sake of everything else, I mean, venues have to be paid, crews have to be paid, production people have to be paid. And in bygone eras, there was always a system of donation. Yagyas are actually not complete until you have remunerated the priest performing the yagya. And all day long and all year long and every kirtan, Kali Yuga Dharma Shri Harinam Sankirtan Yagya Ki Jai. So what happens to the Brahmins who are performing the yagyas? It's not complete until you've donated. But we've also lost the culture of actual donations. The mentality now is, you should do it all, and then, yes, I will absolutely give a donation of €0.50. And that should be enough, right, to sustain you. Well, according to Sri Krishna in all of Shastras and Srimad Bhagavatam, when Yudhishthira Maharaj wanted to perform a yagya, he needed a literal mountain of gold. And he went to Krishna. And Krishna did not tell him that spiritual activities should be free. Krishna told him, luckily for you, I know exactly where to find an abandoned mountain of gold. It's completely abandoned. You can use it for whatever you need. And so even when Yogi was speaking about worshiping the demigods, Srila Prabhupada says, do you all actually know how much wealth it takes to perform a proper Ganesh Puja? There's so much wealth, and if you don't put all of that wealth in, you're insulting them. And so he said, better that you all just worship Krishna, because he'll accept. Patram pushpam palam toyam, he'll accept fruit, flower, water, little leaf, the devotion that he's after. And once, in the great town where I'm from, it's a small little side country called New York. It's a country. And the devotees organized an auditorium for Srila Prabhupada, or they publicized it everywhere. Free kirtan, free lecture, free prasad, free everything, free Krishna consciousness. And no one came. And Srila Prabhupada told them, it's because you made it free. If you charge, then they'll take it seriously. And they'll actually want to hold some accountability. And so the moment that you have to pay for something, you're a little bit more accountable, isn't it? Yeah, you're invested now, literally, you're investing. And so now you hold yourself accountable. Okay, I have to show up. I can't not go to the Holy Name Immersion. I paid money, took off time, told my boss, did all these things. So now I have to go. And if I go, I might as well make the most of it and get all of my money's worth. Because then why did I pay all this money and then tell my boss and do all these things and take this whole trip? So now you're invested and it holds you accountable. And I feel like it also holds us accountable. It makes me want to give my best in the seva of these incredible Vaishnavas who are giving their assets, their commodities. So for me, especially when it comes to kirtan concerts, I don't think y'all have any idea how many other people come and serve. People sometimes come and they sell hand-painted japa bags and hand-painted shirts, and they sell all kinds of different things that they've made. People are making prasad and they're trying to really make it tasty. And then they come and they sell it. If we don't have these kind of incredible programs, what happens to them? So it's kind of like a huge community effort. And we all come together giving what little or however much we can to please Krishna. And so I don't necessarily think that Prabhupada disapproved of paid kirtans in that way, especially when it is really rooted in seva. And I think that I'm really glad that this question came up in this forum, because I believe that these things cannot be pounded out over a keyboard. It's not something that you're going to change somebody's mind by becoming a whole keyboard kshatriya. I think it's a conversation that you need to have with loved ones to see how it affects them, to see how they feel when you start a sentence off to a second-generation kid saying, you know, Prabhupada said, and we never know what's going to come after that. So our faces are a mixture of apprehension and past trauma, because we never know what will come after that. And so many times it is maybe a disparaging remark, maybe meant to be encouraging, but to us, we turn into 5-year-olds again. And all we hear is, oh, we did it wrong again. We didn't get it right yet. Okay. I mean, back to the drawing board.
We'll never know, because he's not here.
Right. We'll never know because we can't ask Grandpa. And we're stuck. And so I think that if we have more of these conversations face to face, we get to see how we're affecting one another. So the end of that question, how do we stay loving and caring, especially with each other? We keep talking to each other. We keep serving with each other. Even in the hard conversations, even if we disagree, we keep talking to each other. We keep looking into each other's eyes and really seeing, okay, wait, how am I affecting Amal? He's my little brother. Like literally, we've known each other all our lives. And so then we start to stop each other before, okay, wait, I don't really want to say something that's going to alienate Amal from my life. Because that I want to serve with all of them, literally lifetime after lifetime. I kind of don't care what happens, whatever Krishna desires, as long as I get to serve with all of you.
Thank you. You said this would be the last question. Thank you very, very much for giving such illustrious answers. Yeah, this is a wonderful idea. I will request you now all to take your prasadam. We are a little late. We had plans to perhaps have other discussions before the next kirtan slot at 4:30, but because we have gone over time, and I think it is good if we now take prasadam, and then you might consider the horizontal position, means lying a little, And please be here punctually at 4:30. Hare Krishna.